What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for yet another Tottenham update. We're going to go into the last 24 hours of Tottenham news, and we're going to start off with the big one. Spurs did announce their financial results yesterday. We're going to go through the statement on the website and some other bits and pieces as well. But let's go through the statement first and see what we take from it. This was on the official website, and it says Tottenham's revenue crossed £500 million for the first time, 549.6 million, a 24% increase from the 2022 accounts figures of 440 million. However, Spurs did post a loss of 86.8 million over the 22-23 season. Daniel Levy confirms Spurs are in talks over fresh investment in the club, with prospective investment in the statement for the club's accounts for the 22-23. This is quotes from Daniel Levy, and he says, our turnover has exceeded £500 million for the first time, whilst UEFA money's contributed. This has also been driven by the increased stadium revenues from both football and non-football events and additional revenue streams. All the activities at the stadium are designed to create a diversified source of revenue, which can be then invested in our principal core activity, which is football. Our ethos is clear: to be far-sighted and run the club sustainably. This involves strict control of our cost base, increased commercial and sponsorship revenues, and consistent European participation, all of which are key to the ability to continue to invest in the squad and win top honours. To capitalise on our long-term potential, the club requires a significant increase in its equity base. The board and its advisors, Rothschild & Co., are in discussions with prospective investors. The club remains fully compliant with Premier League profit and sustainability rules and in supportive of the enhancement of the PSR to ensure the Premier League remains competitive and sustainable. So what do you take from that?
Look, obviously the revenue is growing massively. I think the club is clearly showing that it's really in full swing now. Over £500 million in revenue is monstrous numbers. Obviously they have still posted a loss, but I do think as the years go by, if we continue to be in European participation, that won't be the case going forward. Obviously we're still fairly new to the stadium. Obviously we've got depreciating assets as well. That's obviously caused the loss, but going forward, that won't be the case. I think once we post those if we can post that kind of revenue going forward, the profit will be a lot larger, especially once we get other players, big wage players off the wage books and all this kind of stuff. It's interesting to note that our wage bill for the first time has overtaken Arsenal, which is quite interesting. For the first time, I think, since the 90s, I think it said. But our revenue to turnover is still less. It's 46% compared to Arsenal's 51%. So even though we're paying more wages than Arsenal, we're still paying less of our turnover in wages. So that's quite significant. It shows how much money we're generating. And in terms of the additional investment, that would benefit the club massively in the short term in terms of ability, more flexibility, I think, when it comes to transfers and stuff like that.
Yeah, in terms of what you're talking about in the wages, though, I do expect that to be different when the next figures are released, because you're going to have Perisic off that, you're going to have Lloris off that, you're going to have Ndombele hopefully off that, potentially Lo Celso as well.
I guess Kane, because that's 22-23.
Kane as well.
Kane,
so I mean, all our top owners at the club won't be there anymore.
Well, I guess if it's for this season, for next, when the financial results are next released, you're still going to have Lloris for 6 months. You're still going to have Perisic for 6 months, Dyer for 6 months. So it won't be completely gone. But obviously in 2 years' time it will be completely gone. But maybe there'll be replacements for whoever much. Look, I think the financials are clearly healthy, even though the loss is still 86 million for this financial result. If you look at the revenue, I can't see too many other clubs posting that kind of level of revenue, which is ridiculous. But they've made the decision to up season ticket prices and up prices for senior citizens as well. And when you do the calculation of how much, that 6% rise is going to make the club, it's probably like around 3 million. And then you have, as part of the financial results, Daniel Levy taking a bonus of around 3 million this for that financial year, and that is really a terrible look. When just 2 weeks ago you raised the season ticket prices, what it makes it look like is that the fans are essentially paying Daniel Levy's bonus with this price rise. If I was Daniel Levy, if I was the PR department, I would just say, look, delay that for a year. Well, I guess it's from last year, so I guess it's already happened. So I guess it's hard to delay it if it's already happened. I guess
So
when
he's
these things get
he's
released,
getting the club money back for the bonus that he's already given himself.
So he's taken the bonus and he's basically put that cost onto the fans. That's what it looks like. I don't think that is the truth, because obviously, as I've said, like Daniel Levy, from his, I guess, Tottenham's point of view and Daniel Levy's point of view, you know, he's been a major part in getting these revenue sources and getting these deals and all this kind of stuff and putting all these things in place. So why shouldn't he get a bit of a bonus because of all the hard work he's put in, all the revenue sources he's garnered? But when if you're, you know, from a fan looking outside, to have that kind of bonus, then you're raising season ticket prices, which is fairly close to what that bonus would look like in the short term. It basically makes it look like the fans are paying for his bonus, but what really annoys me is just that they make a whole big deal about how significant the price rise would be to the club, and how they need this price rise to help the club be sustainable, and then they're giving that kind of fee away just in a bonus, just in an extra part into Daniel Levy's pocket, when that's pretty much the same price that the club would have been getting. So how significant really is that money they need from the price rise when it's basically equivalent to a bonus to Daniel Levy?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't sit right with me. I think it looks terrible from a fan's perspective, and these people should be able to learn how to read a room, or they just don't care. Essentially, maybe they just don't care about what the fans think. That's what it seems like to me.
Probably not.
Why would they care if the fans are going to come back and keep paying their money anyway? What does it make a difference to them what the fans keep saying?
They'll know a few messages on social media, maybe a few fans outside the ground doing a protest, and then it'll blow over, and that's it.
Yeah, but what's key to me is the talk about investment and the increase in its equity base. When they're saying about potential, we've heard about all these Qatari potentials, American potentials over the last couple of years. Why do they need outside investment and to sell some equity in the club after the stadium's been built? Is that because the stadiums cost so much and they're trying to and it costs more than they maybe expected it to cost?
I think it's more to do with short-term cash flow. So if you have that 600 million available to you now, obviously these people want to return their investment, but then if you have that 600 million, you have more immediate cash available. Obviously, the stadium is a moneymaker, but that money takes time to come in with all these things, all these events. You have to plan the events, then you have to have the event happen, then you get the money for all, and that all takes a bit of time. If you get that immediate money, all of a sudden you have that 600 million that you obviously I'm sure not all of it would, or whatever how much they get, I'm sure not all of it would go on transfers. I'm sure some of it would go on to clearing some of the debt and whatever, but that is a more immediate cash that you could use at your disposal, hopefully to kind of maybe get deals over the line in the short term.
I guess it does sound like a positive thing that they're looking for investment to give away a percentage of the club, and obviously they'll stay in the main control and day-to-day running of the football club. But it'll be great to see if we can get some sort of investment in, and maybe that will change the landscape a little bit.
Yeah, I think the aim of that would be to loosen the purse strings a bit if you get immediate cash, because if you're just relying on future cash to make the signings, there's always an element of risk. Not much, because I don't think there's much risk when it comes to how the stadium makes money, but still, as Daniel Levy is a businessman, he did want to eliminate any possible risk, won't he? So if you have that immediate cash to spend right now, then that would benefit.
Yeah, I guess we've heard it all before, though, with investment in the football club. And
have they ever said it publicly themselves, though?
I think he's never said he's outright looking for investment before, but he has said if an offer comes in, I'll have to seriously consider it and stuff like that. I don't think he's ever said outright, especially in a statement on the club official website, that we're looking for investment. It does seem quite strong, they want investment.
That seems like maybe there's something in the works.
Yeah, I hope so, and I hope they do get it. Mike Keegan from the Daily Mail says that a number of American investment groups are said to be circling with the interest of buying a stake. Qatari sports investments have previously been linked, but they are focusing on different projects such as a MotoGP. But it's interesting because I read that MotoGP just got bought a few weeks ago, and not by them. So maybe they could be back involved as well.
Don't know about that.
But we'll have to see how that one pans out. But let us know your thoughts on the financial results. Do you think it's right for Daniel Levy to take that 3 million bonus? And what are your thoughts on the potential investment as well? Let's talk about some Premier League awards. First up, the Manager of the Month award for March. Mikel Arteta, Iraola, Jurgen Klopp and Ange Postecoglou are up for Manager of the Month. I think this is Ange's, I think it's his fourth time he's been up for it. He's won it twice, or he's won it 3 times.
I think he's won it 3 times.
So it must be his 5th then, because there was once when he didn't win it as well.
Yeah, the once when he didn't win it, so maybe his 5th nomination.
5th, quite unbelievable. How many months of the season has there been?
8, 9 months?
5
no,
of those.
Can't be.
So it must be September, October, November, December, January,
February, March. 8. So 5 of the 8 months he's up for it.
That's mad.
So, but spacey between December, January, February, he hasn't been up for it basically.
But still
makes
mad.
Sense. Yeah, it is crazy.
4 games, 3-1, 1 loss, and a goal difference of +4. I don't think he actually deserves to win this one.
Who's up for it again? Iraola,
Klopp and Arteta.
Yeah, he probably won't win it because the others are unbeaten, aren't they? I think.
Yeah.
So. He probably won't win it, but obviously it's probably just because that Villa result was a great result. And then, as I've said, I think we played well against Palace. We played well against Luton as well. Deserved those wins. And obviously Villa was a brilliant result. But then Fulham's in there, isn't it? So that probably will cost him the manager of the month.
Yeah. In terms of player of the month nominees, you've got Alexander Isak, Cole Palmer, Alexis McAllister, Ricardo Muniz, Antoine Semenyo, Ben White, and Heung-min Son. Sonny has played 4 games, 3 goals and 2 assists.
Yeah, great.
He's got a genuine shout for that, but there are other players that are obviously, all of those players are playing unbelievably well at the moment.
I got a feeling it might be Muniz.
Muniz, yeah,
because
probably.
He's just banging the goals, and for a team like Fulham, he's got a lot of attention. Then he also backed up with that unbelievable scissor kick as well.
Yeah.
So I think Muniz might win it, but
Isak as well, though. Isaac's playing unbelievably
Isaac's playing really well, but Son has he won it twice already? It was second nomination. It was his second nomination.
He won it once because Maddison and Son got it the first 2 months of the season. So he's won it once.
Yeah, and look, I think he's having a great season. I think he's playing well at the moment. Obviously, didn't have the best game against West Ham, but he had a brilliant month in March.
Yeah, well, West Ham was in April, so that's why that one wasn't taken into account. But everyone, head over to the Premier League website and vote for your Tottenham boys, Ange Postecoglou and Heung-min Son for the Manager and Player of the Month awards. Let's get into some potential transfer news now. Alejo Veliz, let's talk about him. As Uriel Looked, which is an Argentinian journalist, says that Bournemouth are attentive to the situation of Alejo Veliz, who is expected to go out on loan again next season. And I think this would be a brilliant loan for him if we can get that one over the line. But obviously they do have Dominic Solanke, but maybe Solanke might be out the door this summer.
Yeah, I do envisage if they sell Solanke for what I envisage to be big money, I'm assuming they're going to use that money. I don't think they're just going to loan Veliz as their replacement. But if they intend on loaning him and giving significant minutes, that'll be a brilliant move for him. And also a team that play aggressively, play attacking football as well, under a really talented young manager in Iraola, plays a good brand of football. So I think Veliz could learn a lot from there, and I also think they could create a lot of chances for him. So I would be excited about a potential loan move, but I don't know. Something tells me that either Solanke stays and he's going to be number 2, or Solanke leaves and they're going to spend the money on replacing him. So I don't know if he's going to be number 1 there, unless he just is that good where he goes there and just becomes number 1.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, what kind of striker for big money would go to Bournemouth? Because you've got Solanke. Can they get better than Solanke?
Probably not, but if Solanke wants to leave, then it's going to be difficult to keep him. But then again, who's going to buy him for big money? It's also a big question. Maybe someone like West Ham or something. Wouldn't be
West
surprised.
Ham could do with Solanke. I think that'd be a good fit.
That would be good. So I'm sure Iraola knows the Spanish market quite well with his time over there, and that's probably where they'll be looking at, I assume.
All right, let's talk about a potential incoming. He goes by the name of Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall. Alex Crook says that Tottenham are the latest club tracking Leicester's Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall, having a sensational season out in the Championship this year. 11 goals, 13 assists in 38 games for Leicester. Obviously, Leicester going through massive financial issues. They're talking about potential points deduction already for next season, whether in the Premier League or the Championship, which is already a not great start for next season for them. But they were having a flying time for it at the Championship. I think they were 11 points clear or 12 points clear at one point, and now they're 3rd in the table. I do think they will come up. I do think they're the best team in the Championship. It is in doubt at the moment, but it's very tight there at the top. You could have a case in the Championship this season where 3 teams finish on over 100 points and one of them doesn't go up, which is so harsh on that team that doesn't and maybe goes out in the playoffs. But all 3 could go up as well. But what do you think of Dewsbury-Hall? He's 25 years of age now. I don't know. He's having a breakout season this year. He has played quite a few years in the Premier League with Leicester, but he's never really pulled anywhere near these numbers.
Yeah, I've always been impressed with him. In the Premier League, I think he's been a good player. I think he is definitely a Premier League player. Even in the Premier League, I thought he was quite good. He's got a really cultured left foot. He's quite a silky player, but I don't think he's anywhere near as good as some of the players we have right now. So I don't know where he fits in. Is he a backup to Maddison? Is he like a number 10? Is that where it would seem? Because he can play on the wing, he play in the centre, but he's definitely more of a central player. I don't know. I don't know if he's the kind of player that's going to improve us.
I think these are just the classic links of any club suffering with financial issues.
Levy's just...
Spurs are just sniffing around all those clubs.
Yeah, literally play the Jaws theme music. It's just Levy like coming towards it like he smells blood in the water.
Basically, any club that announce that they're in any sort of difficulty, you just have the jaws of fucking Daniel Levy circling towards you. That's what it's like. Anyone else from Leicester that we should be looking at?
How much off did you say?
Is there anyone else from Leicester that we should be looking at?
They've got a few good young players who have really come through this season.
There's that one Mavdidi.
I've heard they've got quite a good deep line number 6, good with a good passing range. English.
Who indeed?
No, English.
Who? Okay. You won't let it go, will you? You won't let Harry Winks go.
I think he would cook under Ange. I think he would cook.
Bring back Winks, yeah. Don't let David Harris hear you say that. But they do have... I'm just looking at their squad now. Wilfred Ndidi. Isn't Wilfred Ndidi...
He is having a great season, by the way, Winks.
He is, I know. But he's found his level. That's what it is. Patson Daka.
Yeah, I don't know about Ndidi.
Iniacho.
Nah.
Jamie Vardy.
Nah.
Mavdidi.
Mavdidi, that's the one I'm thinking. Oh, he's playing quite well, isn't he, Mavdidi?
Whatever happened to Ricardo Pereira?
He was
so good at one point, wasn't
injuries
he?
Ruined
He's 30 years old now.
Yeah.
We were talking about Harry Souttar in the World Cup.
Harry Souttar, the centre back. No, I don't think so.
That's about it, really.
So maybe Dewsbury-Hall. We have to have someone. We can't let this opportunity lie. We must. If there's an opportunity to be had, we have to sign someone from Leicester just because. Aside with Solomon, we couldn't let it go. He's free. We just couldn't let it go.
Spurs always looking in the bargain buckets. But let's finish off talking about Cuti Romero, as Esteban Edo, an Argentinian journalist, says that Mascherano does not want Cuti Romero for his 2024 Olympic squad. Cuti had already made himself available for the games in Paris, but Mascherano wants Emi Martinez, Otamendi and Julian Alvarez. So if this is true, this is music to all of our ears. It takes away a decision.
Exactly, it just takes the decision out of his hands, which is brilliant. Because it also, if that happens, it hopefully avoids any sort of potential awkward situation where Spurs reject a move for him to go, or he even tries to force Tottenham to allow him to go, or anything like that. So if Mascherano just says, look, I'm not taking you, and he allows him to rest, I mean, that'll be brilliant for Spurs, and hopefully Romero gets some enforced rest.
Yeah, Mascherano probably just looked at it and being like, do I really want to fight with Daniel Levy for the release of Cuti Romero? I'll just take Otamendi instead.
Exactly, easier.
But yeah, because it's worth noting that they only allowed 3 players over the age of 21 or 23. I can't remember which one it is.
And maybe thinking about it as well, like Otamendi's 34. That's probably going to be his last chance to do an Olympics. Romero maybe in a
4 years' time.
Yeah, might maybe have another opportunity.
Yeah, he will do.
Then.
He will do. So that is your Tottenham update for today. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts regarding all the news topics we've talked about today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on.